Hey there, everybody. Professor Link here, the professor of professors, the teacher of teachers. Yeah, I know I didn't change my hat out today, but I'm trying to get everything ready to go because, at this point, a lot of people are getting into classes and they kind of want to know this information. But here I am inside of, excuse me, right now I'm inside of OBS. Again, this is what I use to pretty much record everything, to pretty much do everything the way I teach. This is how I do it. Okay, is right here. So when you first open up the program, this is kind of what you're looking at. The sources are right down here, and this is one of the major areas where you're going to get the feeds that you're looking at. Now, I'm doing a little video trickery here. Okay, so for example, if I go to add and I would hit the display capture, which is, if you've got multiple windows, it's doing one specific. I usually prefer the video capture or the window capture myself. That's just the one that I tend to use when I'm adding in there. You'll get that weird tunneling effect, which looks like you're looking through a hall of mirrors. It's really kind of cool. So be careful on that one. But you want to get your video source, your window capture that will show different windows. For example, right now or display capture. If I click on that, I can select one of my two monitors, and I just grab in the corner and pinch and you can see that I'm actually recording this in Zoom. And this is the way. One, dual monitors. I talked about that in a previous video, but this is the way to put yourself into grading feedbacks or put yourself into other windows. Or if you're doing video responses to discussion forums, this is the way you do it. Okay. And yes, I'm kind of dating when I'm recording this, but that's the way you do it, having multiple setups. And then, you've got your mixers where your audio is coming in, you have your microphone, you hit the properties on that one. But let me take a look at the general settings just to kind of go over some of these items. You want to, the way it comes in when you first install it for most people is going to be just fine. A lot of this you really don't need to get into, but look on YouTube. YouTube University is a great teacher for OBS. But when we're really getting into it, look at the output. For most of you, you kind of want to hit that simple. When you're looking at recording, have a dedicated path. Make sure it's a larger hard drive on your system. Make those videos, I would say, high quality. You don't need to go to like the super large size, because then you're just going to run out of room on your hard drive. And most students looking on their phone really don't 100% know the difference. The video encoder really should be using hardware, since I have the hardware. Sorry, I just realized it wasn't there. So you should use hardware for the video encoder whenever possible. Yes, sometimes it takes a little longer, but it's usually just fine. And then looking at the audio, you don't really need to change all this around, but make sure you've got the main mic set up to your external one, to the one that you've got plugged in. If you're using a laptop, not necessarily the one that's built into the laptop. So you just have to make sure on those that it's there. Okay. And that's realistically, that's your basic setup. The video file should be a MP4. It should be an MP4 format, because that is the most easy to load up into almost every system, be it Kaltura, be it a unsearchable, unlisted YouTube video, or any of the specific ways that you happen to be doing those. There's a lot of different ways. They have all these different files. In my opinion, the MP4 is just the basic. MPEG-4 is going to be your best option, just because that has the most broad use that you can do on that one. So, and you can set up different hotkeys. You can set up different things along those lines. You probably want to have it 16:9. That's what most people will be able to deal with. 30 to 60 FPS, especially if you're just looking at recording feedback, recording video announcements, recording posts and responses for discussion forums. 60. Keep it simple. Okay. Keep it simple. You don't need to go like ultra high def. You don't need to go 120 frames a second because most of the students, it won't matter. It won't matter. It's the material. It's what you're presenting that's what really matters. Remember, if it's not relatable, if it's not engaging, you're not reaching them. And it doesn't have to be a whole stand-up routine. It just has to be there for you and working for you. Okay. So that's just literally a brief overview. You want to add down here, you in the scene, you want to add the video source and make it your plug-in camera. And if you're using a laptop and that's the only camera you have, then that's just fine. That's the only camera you have. You work with what you have, right? Add the video source. That's the main thing. Add the video source in that one. You can even add text, you can pop text all over the place if you want to. It's something that I sometimes do, but it's not often. Usually we'll do that if I have access to Kaltura. I'll do that inside Kaltura because every university is different. Video capture, have the pictures and the still images on your other display, on your other monitor, and just use the display capture to move between the two, to go back and forth between those two, and you'll be just fine. Okay. There's mutes here in the audio. Make sure if your mic isn't working, and you can see if it's not working, sometimes you just have to hit that properties and have it, make sure you've selected your external USB microphone. There's lots of other tips and tricks. There's tons of others. In our next one, I'll show you how to do picture-in-picture really well and just some good tips for how to do that effectively when you're looking at feedback, okay? I'll talk with you all soon. Have a great rest of your whatever happens to be while you're watching this. And as always, remember, we're all in this together, okay? Take care of yourselves. I'll talk with you soon.